Hello everybody, Average Gamer here. Welcome to another episode of Supreme Ruler Ultimate, but this time we're back. We're back in our China Let's Play. So, this is actually my second time recording this because the first time I was muted the entire time. I forgot to hit F10. So, I thought I would give everyone just a quick update as to what everything's sitting on here in the game. It's only going to be about a 10-minute video. What's going to happen is I'm going to try to bring this as an intricate, get everyone kind of caught up in the China Let's Play, and then on Monday we're going to start playing it again. Took a long time of rest and relaxation on it, but I figure it's about time to bring it back. I'm also going to bring back the Canada Let's Play, I'm hoping, and the Ireland Let's Play, probably not at the same time, but the plan is to have at least two scenarios going at any given time. So that in mind, the Chinese one's back. So if you haven't seen the Chinese Let's Play, now's a good time to hop back in, basically. Or even if you took a long break, because we're basically going to play catch-up. So, first off, what happened? Or what's happened? Let's bring up the overall map view, shall we? Line of sight. Map ownership. So right now we're in pink. This is all us right here. We're also controlling a part of the southeastern United States. So, we started off as China. Right in the Cold War. After a short period of time, we went to war in Southeast Asia and obviously in Korea. We annexed, took those countries. We took Mongolia as well. We annexed our puppets in the west, and we sat on the precipice of an invasion by the Russians, which is exactly what happened. Russia invaded us. We defended ourselves very well, I might add, against said Russians and their entire Eastern Bloc with all their allies and all their puppets. And they came at us and took a significant chunk of the country, actually. We were able to, utilizing our population mostly, cease their advancement. I'm actually going to bring up the loyalty thing so you can see here what I'm talking about. That's last sight. Is this loyalty? There we go. So initially we started with China with this little area here, obviously. Well, including this light blue. We puppeted, we annexed our two puppets here. This puppet is called... Oh, Tibet. There we go. And this one is... I don't think this one I can pronounce. Yeah, something... Huristan. Huristan? Something like that. Annexed them both. We then helped North Vietnam fight the War of Independence against the French. It got to a certain point where they didn't get peace. North Vietnam lost to the French. Or no, they didn't lose to the French. We actually helped them. We helped North Vietnam take Laos, South Vietnam, and Cambodia. We then turned on them once they had taken everything. We then invaded or declared war on North Vietnam and actually invaded and pushed them all the way south and took it all. That's why they're still technically at war with the French. Though the French, I don't think, are at war with anybody. Yeah. This is the funny part. So North Vietnam is technically at war with... If I were to bring it up here. They're at war with... technically... a country that no longer exists. Which is kind of funny when you think about it. Oh, here we go. So they're at war with Equatorial Africa and West Africa. Now, the reason why these countries exist anymore is because they both are now independent. Equatorial Africa... I don't even know where Equatorial Africa was. But it's independent now and part of somebody else, I think. Or it got attacked by somebody else. I don't remember. But either way, it doesn't exist anymore. And they're also at war with West Africa. West Africa. What is it right here? No, where's it? West Africa, I now believe, is these guys. Here's the Belgian Congo. It's going to take me a minute to find it. Oh, is that it right there? No, that's North Congo. By the way, I believe it's... Yeah, it's one of these things where it's the country they're actually... Well, either way, country doesn't exist anymore. I believe it may have been this, actually. That's Southwest Africa. Yeah, so the two countries that they were fighting for don't exist anymore. So, oops. So they're going to be in a constant perpetual war with countries that don't exist. Later on, the AI will probably figure it out and do some sort of peace arrangement, but there you go. So anyways, we annexed all of that. We then went to war with North Korea after North Korea took South Korea. Didn't like having them sitting there, so we took them. We also then took Mongolia. After we took Mongolia, that put us with a rather large, starting from here, going all the way around, border with the Russians. The Russians didn't like that. So the Russians invaded us. That's where the trouble started. So they pushed us in quite a lot. I believe in this area here we kind of held our own. We kind of held our own along the top here. There was a river. We kind of pushed up against and then stopped them. Pretty much believe it was the mountains here that helped slow them down in the desert. And then we kind of built up a nice little defensive position in this area here. And they really didn't push that far behind it. There was no real way for them to do anything. We pretty much had a defensive line along here. That's what it was. We had a defensive line along this spot here, pretty much. We had another one pretty much along all our major locations of entry here in the west. So we had a lot of troops based around here, and in this area here, and this area here. We had pushed up, I believe, and we were protecting this spot, and this spot right here, and this one. Yeah, it was this spot here, and I believe this spot. We were pretty much holding our own for a while, and over here we had some troops. But unfortunately, the Russians out of Vladivostok, if I'm not mistaken, took a lot of the chunk up here in the northeast. And at one point, I think they were threatening our capital. After a lot of just patiently hitting and fading, we were able to grind down the Russian military enough that we were able to actually aggressively do what we needed to do. With that in mind, we were able to push up through here, even push up through north of Mongolia, take out their puppets here in this in the central Russian area, and actually take Russia. We even went through all of its allies over here at one point, I believe, and did a significant number in damaging their allies and just doing a significant job on Russia. Now, what we did was something unexpected. We kept the puppets. We annexed all the puppets, and we didn't give them independence. Now, you'll notice on our current map ownership, some of the puppets down here do have independence. I'll get to that. And so do some of them over here. What we did for a while is we actually built up a big defensive network against the Europeans. With under the guise of a possible European attack. After we bettered our situation in Europe, and after a long time of not really going to war with anybody, we sat on our laurels and we built up a defensive network while propping up Syria. Now, Syria took over the chunk of the Middle East, including Egypt, Turkey, pushed all the way down here to the south, took India, took Pakistan. We already had most of Siam and Malaya. Well, when all that occurred, it got us to a point where Syria was too big for its own good, and we had propped it up. So we basically kicked the third leg of the stool, and they fell over. They toppled. We invaded them from multiple locations along the border, overrode them faster than they could do anything. And sure enough, after helping them and propping them up, we took them out. Now, what we did is we also gave everyone independence that they took and put the communist government in power. Now, when doing that, we also did the same thing here in Southeast Africa, and on top of that, actually did it down here in Southeast Asia. We then decided to release all our puppets in our western territories, our western frontier, or Eastern Europe. We gave them all independence, but propped in communist governments, obviously. Same with all the puppets down here, and even some countries that don't exist right now. We gave Kurdistan independence. We gave Kashmir independence. So we thought, you know what? These countries deserve it finally. Let's give them the independence. We also gave Djibouti Somaliland independence. Eritrea independence. Ethiopia, we had them for a while. We gave them independence. We gave Liberia independence because we annexed them. Haiti as well. We invaded them, and we gave them independence. We imported a communist leader into that country as well. Over time, we slowly integrated communist forces everywhere. We even helped back the dictatorship in Argentina to take a huge chunk of South America. The plan is actually to help them and better our relationship with Argentina and help them take over the remainder of South America. Because it's better for us if one country controls a continent. Because then we can go after that one country, invade them, and puppet everyone. So the key here with this game is not actually to control the world under one country. It's to have one government around the entire world. And that's pretty much it. We're one of the few non-aligned countries. If I highlight here, I think it shows you. Yeah, so right now, there's 144 countries around the world that are NATO aligned. There are 4 leading towards the Warsaw Pact, and a couple of them are in Africa. 6 NATO leaning, and then 144 NATO aligned. We're not Warsaw Pact aligned. We basically wiped out the Warsaw Pact, so technically we're just not aligned, period. Since we're also at war with the US, we can't be NATO aligned. Plan is to puppet the US or annex the US. It's going to be one or the other. I'm probably going to annex them for their natural resources, their population, and all that stuff, and then leave the rest of the world. The rest of the world will be little things like annexing, not annexing, but puppeting, or putting in a communist dictatorship. Basically, we annex and then we release it with a communist government. One thing that we will have to do here is go to war with Turkey or Italy. Italy actually went to war with Turkey and took Turkey. So we're gonna have to, either influence Italy a little bit to invade its neighbors even more. I'm hoping that's something that we can do. We will have to see. But yeah, so we're in the process of invading the U.S. As you can see, we have a lot of troops and a lot of units. We have another support force or reserve force coming into play over the next little bit. We have a massive navy coming in to support our landings. And we have another batch of troops. Now, these troops were initially supposed to land down here. Unfortunately, our landing force was able to capture San Diego. I think they captured Oceanside as well. They didn't capture San Diego proper. We actually landed down here, at Chula Vista. I have no idea. We pushed as far as Cajun, but we never captured San Diego. There was too many troops there. So we tried, and we were unable to really make a big dent down there. I think we definitely lucked out when we hit Florida when we did, because the Americans then went pure active. And they've been getting a little bit more docile with us, not as aggressive. We still have a massive amount of troops that we're going to slowly push up with. Our plan is basically everything east of the Mississippi we want to capture first. And then we want to slowly roll We're also going to use whatever river this is here as well. Once we have our next batch of reserves up, the plan is to utilize them here, push to the Mississippi, capture New Orleans, and then with units here, push up to whatever. Is this no? This wouldn't be the Chattanooga River, would it? I really don't know American geography as much as most people would prefer. Remember, I'm not American, as some people have mentioned in their videos that I should know where the states are. I apologize that I'm not American, even though technically it should be the other way around. But yeah, so the plan is to push west to the Mississippi, then hold along this river here. We'll let's call it the Chattanooga for now until I get a better idea, and then continue heading up north to, I know this one's the Hudson. That's Lake Champlain. So the plan will be to push all the way up there, hold against the Canadian border here in Niagara Falls and where Buffalo is, hold basically New York in the south, and then push east to get what's left of Maine, Massachusetts, New England, all that stuff, and then push west with basically the force we have that took up the Northeast, spin them around, build them up here, and then just push west to the Mississippi and make sure we have a lot of troops up here, but basically hold all the major river points and river crossings of the Mississippi, which is a major problem for the Americans. If I'm holding everything east of the Mississippi, that is a significant amount of their government. Obviously not their government, but their resources, industry base. A lot of the power base, though, luckily for them, is in the southwest, I believe, is where a lot of the power is. So they're going to kind of like it, but we're going to get a lot of stuff if we're able to do that. But yeah, the plan is, once again, it's not to control the world. It's not to annex everybody. We're only going after the U.S. We're going to maybe even Canada, just to make ourselves kind of the northern section. We might even go after Finland, Sweden, and Norway a little bit, and Iceland and Greenland, just so that we can call ourselves the Northern Alliance or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But the plan is also probably to rename ourselves once we go to war with Canada, which will probably be in the next episode or two. Once we're in control of the majority of the U.S. and we have pretty much the... Actually, we might not even go to war with Canada until we've taken all of the United States. So we'll have to figure that out. But that'll also give us the majority of control of around the Pacific. We're probably going to take out Japan at that point. And then from then on, no real war. We'll make our allies, we'll influence people, pay them off, make them all love us. And slowly, as wars occur around the world, import a little Chinese communism. But that is our China Let's Play. So once again, it's our whole plan with the China Let's Play is to spread communism and to be a superpower when it comes to economy and production and technology. We were the worst country when it came to technology, the worst when it came to GDP and all that stuff. And right now we're sitting at, well, a growing GDP for one. We're at 6,000, 6,200. Once we take the majority of the US, it'll obviously go up. Inflation's pretty horrible. I'm not too worried about that right now. We have a GDP, of 11,000, which is way better than expected. Unemployment rate of 3.2, which is really good. A population of over a billion people. So, big country, lots of stuff, lots of excitement. See you guys on Monday when we start up the series again. See you then. Bye-bye.